Chosen one, you are not here by accident. Heaven itself has orchestrated your steps to collide with this very word in perfect timing. This moment is not random. It is divine appointment. The Spirit of God has paused your scroll, interrupted your routine, and placed you under this message because you are standing on the edge of a supernatural shift. Anointed one, the appointed hour has come. Scripture declares in Habakkuk 2003, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, though it tar. Wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay." That appointed time is no longer tomorrow. It is not someday. It is now, today, tonight, or in the coming hours. This is your Kairos moment, the collision of God's perfect timing with your destiny. You have felt it. The stirring, the weight, the quiet knowing that something greater is near. Heaven has already opened its mouth. And even now, the sound of victory is echoing over your life. What the enemy designed to bury you, God has turned into the soil of your blessing. Chosen one, prepare your heart. Heaven is laughing, not in mockery, but in triumph. And that laugh means your breakthrough has already begun. Chosen one, hear this with your spirit. What you did today may have looked ordinary, small, almost invisible, but in heaven it was thunder. It carried eternal weight. It rose before the throne of God. And when it did, he laughed. Not the shallow laugh of mockery, but the laugh of triumph, the laugh of a father who already knows the ending. That sound was victory announced, a declaration that the enemy's schemes have collapsed and your destiny remains secure. Anointed one, you often judge yourself too harshly. You compare your progress to others and call yourself behind. You replay old mistakes and believe your steps are too weak to count. But heaven does not measure like earth. Where you see weakness, God sees courage. Where you see a tiny seed, he already sees a flourishing forest. Where you see a trembling prayer whisper through tears, he sees faith powerful enough to shake kingdoms. I have lived through those hidden seasons. I prayed prayers that felt too fragile to matter. I forgave people who never apologized. I clung to hope when despair felt safer. And God reminded me every time the smallest yes carries eternal power. A hidden act of obedience can ripple across generations. That is why heaven erupted with laughter over you today. Chosen one, never underestimate this moment. You did not just survive another day. You interrupted the plans of hell. You stood where collapse looked certain. You spoke when silence was expected. You moved forward when fear said freeze. That obedience, fragile though it seemed, delighted heaven. Imagine a toddler's first steps. Shaky, wobbling, ready to fall. The parent is not angry. The parent rejoices because movement has begun. That is how God looked at you today. The fact that you are still here is already testimony. The enemy's plan was not casual. It was precise, designed to silence prayer, bury hope, and convince you God had turned away. Yet here you are breathing, seeking, listening. That survival alone is victory. Every breath declares, the plan against me has failed. Each morning you rise, each time you choose faith, even when it shakes, heaven laughs because the enemy lost again. Your life is not random survival. It is evidence that God's hand still holds you. And if the enemy could not remove you yesterday, imagine the fear he feels knowing what God is preparing to release tomorrow. This is why small obedience must never be dismissed. Heaven's economy is not like earth. The world celebrates headlines, promotions, applause, but God celebrates the hidden. The prayer whispered in a quiet room. The forgiveness no one noticed. The sacrifice that cost you deeply but brought no applause. Every unseen act is written in eternity. Everyone shakes the grip of darkness. I have witnessed this in my own journey. The moments I thought were wasted were the ones heaven magnified. The secret, yes, the seed of faith, the step no one applauded. Those became the pivots of breakthrough. And today, chosen one, you planted seeds. The enemy cannot uproot. Seeds of resilience, seeds of faith, seeds that will bear fruit for generations you may never meet. Heaven has already answered. God has already laughed, and that laugh means momentum has shifted. If you could see what changed in the unseen, you would never doubt again. What looked ordinary here thundered in eternity. What felt like a whisper became a shout in heaven. Chosen one, hold this close. The very strategy designed to bury you has unraveled. The laughter of heaven is not passive. It is power. It is heaven's decree. This battle is already won. The outcome is changing. The tide is turning. Favor is moving in your direction. The enemy studied your patterns, built traps around your hesitation, relied on your exhaustion. But today, you broke the cycle. You gave when nothing remained. You rose when you were expected to fall. You spoke when silence seemed safer. That act triggered a chain reaction beyond your comprehension. It was like a chess game, the enemy smirking, convinced of victory. But your unexpected move overturned the board. That is why God laughed, because he saw what the enemy never imagined. Anointed one. Heaven does not wait for grand gestures. Heaven responds to faith. Heaven responds to purity. Heaven responds to truth. One whispered yes, sincere and hidden, carries more authority than 1,000 empty declarations. One secret act of integrity outweighs 100 stage performances. So stop minimizing yourself. Stop believing obedience only matters when it is noticed. Stop comparing your journey to highlight reels that hide struggle. Heaven is not impressed with noise. Heaven treasures depth. And today you proved that depth is alive in you. Maybe you feel unseen. Maybe you think you are only surviving. But survival is not small. Survival is testimony. Every breath says, I am still here. Every step whispers, the plan against me has failed. Every choice to continue makes heaven lean forward, rejoicing, declaring, they are still standing. Chosen one, remember this. What tried to destroy you has failed. That alone makes your life a living victory. But God is declaring more. This season is no longer only about survival. It is about acceleration. When heaven laughs, it is not just joy, it is signal. It means the ground beneath you is preparing to yield the harvest you prayed for. And all of it began with your yes today. Chosen one, lean closer to this mystery. The laugh of God is not ordinary. It is not shallow amusement. It is holy triumph, strategy, and declaration. When God laughs, he is not reacting. He is announcing. That sound shakes unseen realms. It signals that the atmosphere around your life has already shifted. Chains that looked unbreakable are cracking. Doors that resisted you are trembling. Timelines are bending toward fulfillment. His laughter over you today is proof that your story has entered a new season. Anointed one, survival itself is more powerful than you think. You often downplay your endurance, calling it weakness, but survival is testimony. Every time you breathe, you mock the plans of hell. You outlive the storms that were designed to bury you. You walk through nights that were orchestrated to break you. Yet here you stand alive and seeking him. Do not call that small. Heaven calls it victory. Every sunrise is your announcement to the unseen. The plan against me has failed. I know this place. I have lived through days where getting out of bed felt like wrestling an army. I have whispered prayers so faint they barely formed words. I have chosen hope while drowning in questions. Later, God showed me those moments carried eternal weight. Heaven recorded what earth ignored. My sighs were songs. My tears were seeds. My weakness became courage. And this is what heaven sees in you now. Chosen one, understand this truth. Heaven celebrates the first step, not just the finish line. The world waits for trophies and applause, but heaven rejoices when you simply move forward. That trembling yes you gave today was enough to rattle eternity. That fragile act of obedience carried force. God laughed because he already knows how far this one step will take you. The world loves visibility. People praise what they can measure, but heaven treasures the hidden. A prayer whispered in darkness can break generational curses. Forgiveness released without witnesses can open doors for descendants. A sacrifice no one applauded can birth supernatural increase. Do not despise the hidden, for heaven magnifies what earth overlooks. Anointed one, picture ripples in water. A stone falls and the splash looks small, yet the ripples extend farther than your eyes can follow. Your obedience today was that stone. The splash looked ordinary, but heaven saw waves spreading across eternity. Angels were dispatched. Seeds in the soil began to push upward. Closed gates began to shift. What looked unnoticed has already stirred the unseen. The laugh of God means the game is over. The enemy thought he had mastered your patterns. He relied on your exhaustion, your hesitation, your silence. He assumed you would fold like before, but today you did not. You broke the cycle. You rose when you were supposed to sink. You gave when you had nothing left. You trusted when fear screamed louder. That act flipped the board. The enemy smirked, believing he held victory. But your unexpected move overturned his plan. God laughed because he saw what the enemy never imagined. Chosen one, this changes how you walk. When heaven laughs over your life, you stop crawling in shame. You stop begging for permission to exist. You stop comparing your journey with others. You begin to carry yourself with quiet boldness. The laugh of God is assurance. It is heaven's way of saying, you are not behind. You are not overlooked. You are moving in perfect timing. Acceleration follows divine laughter. Yesterday was about survival. Today is about increase. The soil beneath your feet is shifting. What you sowed in tears will return with joy. What looked buried is breaking through. God does not laugh without reason. His laughter means breakthrough is not just coming. It has already begun. Think of your long nights of silence, the years of unanswered questions, the seasons where nothing seemed to change. Every moment was seed. Those seeds have not died. They have been hidden waiting. And now heaven's laughter is rain. The laugh is God declaring, now is the appointed time. Chosen one, never forget that your obedience carries generational weight. What you did today is not only about you, it will echo through bloodlines. Children you may never meet will inherit doors opened by your faith. Families will walk in freedom because you whispered yes. Communities will experience blessing because you endured. Heaven laughs because God sees the legacy that your obedience has secured. Anointed one, hold this revelation close. You are not simply surviving for yourself. You are carrying destiny within you. Heaven's laughter is heaven's guarantee that your life has meaning beyond the present. That is why you must silence doubt. That is why you must stop despising your progress. The laugh of God proves your journey is advancing. So lift your head, chosen one. The laughter of heaven surrounds you like a shield. Carry it within your heart. Let it drown out every whisper of fear. Let it silence every lie of insufficiency. Let it remind you, each time you step forward, the King of Glory has already laughed, and his laugh is the seal of your victory. Chosen one. The laugh of God is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of acceleration. That sound in heaven is not just celebration, it is activation. It sets things in motion that no power of darkness can reverse. When God laughs, the spiritual climate shifts in your favor. The very ground beneath your feet begins to prepare for increase. What was delayed is being released. What was locked is being opened. That laugh has already gone ahead of you to make crooked places straight. Anointed one, this is why you must never despise the waiting season. You thought delay was denial, but it was preparation. You believed silence meant rejection, but it was hidden alignment. God was building strength in you while no one was watching. He was planting seeds of endurance that could only grow in the soil of struggle. And now the laughter of heaven is the rain that awakens those seeds. What you thought was wasted time has become the foundation of breakthrough. I know the pain of delay. I know what it feels like to pray for years without visible answers. I know the sting of watching others celebrate while you sit in silence. Yet every time I reached the edge of despair, God whispered, "Wait, trust my timing." Looking back, I can see that He was protecting me from blessings I was not ready to carry. He was preparing me for a harvest that required deeper roots. Chosen one, this is the same truth over your life. What felt like wasted years was sacred construction. Heaven's laughter means the construction phase is ending. It means manifestation is near. The walls that confined you are shaking. The ceilings that limited you are breaking. Doors that denied you are unlocking. The laugh of God is heaven's stamp that says, "Now, chosen one, do not miss this." Your obedience in the hidden place has created momentum in the visible place. The prayers you pray through tears are rising as fragrance before the throne. The sacrifices you made in silence are speaking louder than words. The forgiveness you gave without applause is echoing in eternity. Heaven laughs because God sees how these moments have woven together into destiny. Anointed one. Think of Joseph in the prison, forgotten by men, overlooked by those he helped, but not ignored by God. Every hidden day was preparation for the palace. And when the time was right, God elevated him in a single moment. That is what heaven's laughter means for you. It is the sign that your hidden faithfulness is about to meet public favor. Chosen one, you may still feel unseen. You may still wonder if anyone notices the weight you carry, but heaven has recorded every detail. Not one tear has been wasted. Not one act of faith has been overlooked. And now the laugh of God is declaring it is harvest time. You need to carry yourself with confidence. This is not arrogance. It is holy assurance. When you know God has laughed over your life, you walk differently. You no longer shrink to fit into places you have outgrown. You no longer apologize for the oil on your life. You stop living for the unstable approval of people and start moving in the unshakable approval of God. His laughter has already sealed your victory. Anointed one, hear this clearly. The laugh of God is heaven's weapon. It is not passive joy. It is a sound that dismantles strategies of darkness. It confuses the enemy. It disrupts his predictions. He thought he had studied you, memorized your weaknesses, controlled your responses, but heaven laughed because you broke the script. You chose faith where fear expected to reign. That act rewrote the ending. I have seen this in my journey. Times when I thought I was losing, heaven was actually celebrating. Times when I thought I was stuck, God was already laughing because he knew the turnaround had begun. And I believe this is what he is declaring over you now. What looks unfinished to you is already complete in his eyes, chosen one. The laughter of God should stir your spirit to dream again, to believe again, to expect again. Do not let disappointment chain your vision. Do not let weariness steal your expectancy. If God has laughed, then the battle is already decided. The only question left is when the victory will manifest. And heaven's laughter means soon. Anointed one, step boldly. Heaven is not waiting for you to be perfect. Heaven is responding to your faith. Do not despise small beginnings. Do not minimize trembling obedience. Each act has power. Each whisper has weight. Each seed has future harvest. Chosen one, lift your eyes. The season has shifted. Heaven is celebrating over you. The laugh of God is echoing through eternity, announcing that what tried to bury you will now become the soil of blessing. Carry that assurance. Let it anchor you. Let it silence every doubt. Because if heaven has already laughed, then your victory is unstoppable. Chosen one, the laughter of heaven is not ordinary sound. It is not shallow, not empty, not weak. It is the sound of triumph that shakes both the visible and invisible. When God laughs, storms lose momentum. When God laughs, walls begin to collapse. When God laughs, impossible mountains bow before his word. His laughter is not random. It is divine proclamation. It is heaven's decree that the tide has shifted and the story has been rewritten in your favor. Anointed one. This is why you cannot measure your destiny by earthly timelines. The calendars of men are unstable, fragile, and fleeting. Heaven's calendar is eternal, flawless, and unshakable. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. The laughter of God is proof that your appointed hour has come. Nothing can block it. Nothing can cancel it. Nothing can undo it. His laughter is the divine stamp confirming that the season has shifted and the alignment has taken place. I know the pain of waiting. I know the sting of delay, the silence of prayers that seem unanswered, the ache of watching others rejoice while you remain hidden. Yet I also know the joy that comes when God finally moves. Looking back, I can see clearly that delay was not denial. Silence was not abandonment. Hiddenness was not punishment. It was protection. It was training. It was God enlarging my capacity to carry blessings far greater than I imagined. When his timing arrived, his laughter made sense. It proved that every moment of waiting had purpose. Chosen one, your hidden years have been holy classrooms of destiny. Every whispered prayer was a seed. Every tear watered the soil. Every unseen act of obedience fertilized the ground. Heaven's laughter is proof that the soil has broken open. The harvest is rising. What you thought was buried forever is alive. What you thought was invisible is manifesting. Heaven rejoices because the release has come and the promise is unfolding. Anointed one, think of Sarah. She laughed when she heard God's promise because it felt impossible. Yet God's laughter was greater. He was not shaken by her doubt. He was anchored in his word. And just as Sarah held Isaac, the evidence of God's promise, you will hold what he has spoken. Heaven laughs because impossibility has already surrendered to divine certainty. Chosen one, start living as though the promise is already here. Pray as though the answer has already arrived. Speak as though the blessing is in your hands. Walk as though the doors are open before you. God's laughter is not a suggestion, it is confirmation. It tells creation that the matter has been settled, that your future is secure, that your destiny is unstoppable. I have lived through seasons that felt like the end. I mourned dreams I thought had died. I buried opportunities I believed were gone. I watched doors close and assumed they would never open again. But then God moved suddenly. Provision appeared from nowhere. Connections were made I could never have planned. New paths opened in impossible places. In those moments, I realized heaven had been laughing all along. His laughter had declared victory, even when my eyes could not see it. Anointed one, let heaven's laughter strengthen your soul. You may feel unqualified, but heaven has already equipped you. You may feel unseen, but heaven has already applauded you. You may feel weak, but God has clothed you in his strength. Stop diminishing your progress. Stop belittling your obedience. Heaven's laughter is your reminder that you are chosen. You are approved. You are anointed. Chosen one. Never forget. Heaven does not laugh over wasted stories. If God is laughing, it means your scars will testify of healing. Your tears will become rivers of refreshing. Your pain will be reshaped into power. His laughter is heaven's decree that your purpose cannot be erased. What the enemy designed to bury you has become the soil of blessing. Anointed one, your breakthrough is not only for you, it is for those connected to your destiny. Your obedience will open doors for others. Your resilience will give hope to weary hearts. Your faith will spark courage in people ready to surrender. Heaven laughs because God sees the ripple of your yes. He sees generations transformed because you chose to keep standing. So rise in holy confidence, chosen one. This is not arrogance. It is agreement with heaven. You are not crawling toward victory. You are advancing from victory already secured. Heaven's laughter silences lies, dismantles curses, and destroys schemes. His joy is stronger than fear. His decree is louder than doubt. His laughter is the final word. Lift your head high, anointed one. The King has laughed over your life. Carry that sound within your spirit. Let it silence every fear. Let it drown every whisper of insecurity. Let it remind you daily that when heaven laughs, the outcome is already written. The story is sealed, the ending secure, the victory undeniable. Heaven's laughter is your covering, your confidence, and your crown. Chosen one, the laughter of heaven does not fade. It echoes, it carries, it reverberates across eternity. That sound is not momentary celebration, it is living proclamation. It continues to ripple long after the moment of obedience that provoked it. When God laughs, his joy becomes momentum. His delight becomes the wind behind your steps. His sound is not trapped in heaven. It moves through creation, shaking structures, breaking patterns, and establishing new foundations in your life. Anointed one, do not underestimate what one act of faith can release. You may think it was small. You may believe it was insignificant, yet heaven measures differently. Your yes has weight. Your prayer has power. Your obedience carries eternal authority. God laughs because he knows what the enemy cannot see, that your step has triggered a chain reaction and the plans of hell are unraveling thread by thread. I know this by experience. There were times when I thought my words and prayers were whispers lost in the air. I wondered if heaven even noticed, but later I realized those whispers carried thunder in the spirit. My smallest obedience produced ripples far beyond my sight. People were touched, chains broke, provision came, and in those moments I could sense heaven's laughter, delighting in the unseen power released through fragile faith. Chosen one, you may not always feel powerful. You may not always see evidence, but heaven is not measuring by feelings or appearances. Heaven is measuring by faith. One seed of faith planted in weakness can grow into a forest of transformation. One whispered, yes, spoken through trembling lips can overturn decades of generational bondage. That is why God laughs not because your step was perfect, but because it was faithful. Anointed one, remember this. The enemy studies patterns. He predicts your reactions based on past behavior. He builds traps expecting you to quit, to retreat, to fall silent. But today, you broke the pattern. You did what was not expected. You forgave when bitterness looked easier. You prayed when silence seemed safer. You stood when collapse seemed inevitable. That act was the unpredicted move that flipped the board. Heaven laughed because the trap failed and the enemy's calculations crumbled. Chosen one, understand the prophetic weight of breaking patterns. Heaven celebrates not only the outcome but also the moment you refuse to repeat cycles. Every time you resist old temptations, heaven laughs. Every time you choose trust over fear, heaven laughs. Every time you keep moving forward, even shaking, heaven laughs. His joy is the soundtrack of your resilience. I can testify to this. There were battles I faced repeatedly, cycles that seemed unending. But the day I finally chose differently, the atmosphere changed. It was not dramatic on the outside, but in the spirit, chains shattered. Heaven responded. The laughter of God carried me forward. I realized then that one decision to break an old cycle is enough to release new seasons. Anointed one, this is your moment. The laughter of God is not only joy for today, it is also prophecy for tomorrow. It declares that acceleration has begun. It declares that doors are opening. It declares that momentum has shifted. You will not merely survive, you will advance. You will not just endure, you will overflow. The same heaven that laughed yesterday is still laughing today because your future is unfolding in victory. Chosen one, do not despise the small beginnings. Do not belittle the trembling. Yes. Do not compare your journey to louder voices or brighter lights. Heaven is not impressed by noise. Heaven responds to depth. One act of integrity carries more weight than 100 empty performances. One prayer in secret shakes more than 1,000 speeches for applause. That is why God's laughter matters. It reveals what truly counts. Anointed one, think about how parents respond to a child's first step. They do not demand perfection. They do not criticize wobbling. They rejoice. They celebrate. Their delight is not in flawless movement, but in the courage to move at all. That is how heaven looks at you, not with frustration over imperfection, but with delight in obedience. The laughter of God is his celebration of your courage to keep stepping forward. Chosen one, the sound of heaven is stronger than the lies of hell. Let his laughter drown the whispers of doubt. Let his joy silence the accusations of failure. Let his decree cancel the predictions of defeat. If heaven has already celebrated, then the outcome is not uncertain. Victory is not theory. It is destiny. Anointed one, carry this truth into every day. Heaven is not waiting to celebrate when you reach the finish line. Heaven celebrates now. Heaven delights now. Heaven laughs now. The moment you choose faith, you release heaven's sound into your atmosphere. And that sound will carry you, cover you, and confirm you until the promise is visible before your eyes. So walk forward with holy boldness, chosen one. You are not stepping alone. You are stepping to the rhythm of heaven's laughter. You are not striving for approval. You are moving from approval already given. You are not hoping for victory. You are walking in victory already sealed. The King has laughed, and his laughter is your strength, your confidence, your covering, and your crown. Chosen one, I need you to hear this with the fullness of your heart. Heaven is not only responding to your loud moments. Heaven is responding to the purity of your yes. The world may look for noise, recognition, and spectacle, but heaven looks for sincerity, truth, and depth. What you think is quiet, what you believe is overlooked, God calls holy. Anointed one whispered, yes, offered from a trembling heart, carries more authority than 1,000 empty declarations. One act of integrity in secret weighs more in heaven's scales than 100 public performances done for applause. You may feel unseen, but heaven is leaning close. You may feel ordinary, but God has already stamped you extraordinary. Stop minimizing yourself. Stop believing the lie that your obedience only counts when people notice. Stop comparing your steps to the highlight reels of others. Heaven is not measuring noise. Heaven is measuring depth. And today you reveal there is depth within you. Maybe you've been overlooked. Maybe you felt invisible, as if nothing you do makes a difference. But survival itself is testimony. Every breath you draw declares, I am still here. Every step you take whispers, the plan against me has failed. And every time you wake up and choose to continue, heaven rejoices. They are still standing. Chosen one, your resilience has been underestimated. You have lived inside your battles so long that you no longer recognize your own strength. But let me remind you of the truth. What tried to destroy you did not succeed. That alone makes your life a living victory. You may not see it fully yet, but every scar is proof of survival, and every survival is prophecy of future acceleration. And now heaven is declaring that your season is shifting. This is no longer about merely surviving. This is about momentum. This is about acceleration. When God laughs, it is never passive. His laughter is a signal. It means the tide has turned. It means the appointed season has arrived. It means the very ground beneath you is preparing to yield fruit from every seed you planted in tears. Anointed one, this is why the tension has been rising in your spirit. This is why you feel a stirring, an urgency, a sense that something larger is circling your life. The laughter of heaven is never quiet. It stirs the air. It shakes timelines. It pulls breakthroughs from the unseen into the present. And it started because you said yes when no would have been easier. Think of it like a ripple on water. You drop a small stone, and at first it seems like only a little splash. But then the ripples begin to spread outward farther and wider than you could have imagined. Every small step of obedience has been like a stone dropped into eternity. Today's step, the one you thought no one noticed, sent ripples that reached heaven's courts. Angels moved, chains loosened, doors began to respond, seeds buried long ago began to stir with life. Chosen one, you may not see all of it yet, but you will. Heaven never laughs without reason. God never celebrates without cause. That laugh carried weight. That laugh carried promise. That laugh announced the battle is already shifting in your favor. This is the part you must hold close. If God is laughing, you can stop doubting. Stop doubting the timing. Stop doubting your strength. Stop doubting whether you are enough. If heaven has already celebrated your step, then the victory is no longer about if. It is only about when. Anointed one, you may have been taught to celebrate only at the finish line, but heaven celebrates at the first step. Heaven honors the process, not just the result. The journey itself is sacred. The progress itself is holy. When you understand that, you stop living with the burden of not there yet and start walking with the confidence of already chosen. That shift changes everything. You stop chasing unstable approval from people and start walking in the unshakable approval of God. And when you carry that kind of confidence, nothing can intimidate you anymore. No lie of the enemy can silence you. No delay can shake you. No rejection can define you because the King has laughed and his laughter has sealed the outcome. Chosen one, let me remind you. God saw you today. He saw the hidden effort, the trembling obedience, the fragile. Yes, he saw it and he laughed with joy. That laugh means your story is not stuck. That laugh means your obedience holds more power than you realize. That laugh means the outcome has already been rewritten in your favor. So carry that sound in your spirit. The Creator of all things has leaned back on his throne, smiling, laughing over your life. Let that sound drown out the doubts. Let that sound silence every whisper that tells you are behind. Because if the King is laughing, the ending is already secured. And chosen one, that ending is victory. Chosen one, when heaven laughs, it is never shallow or meaningless. It is not simply a moment of joy. It is a sound filled with authority and prophecy. God does not laugh at random. His laughter is a decree. His laughter is a seal. His laughter is a reminder that your obedience has already shifted things you cannot yet see. What looked ordinary to you carried eternal weight in the spirit. What you thought was survival has become the very evidence that you are unstoppable in Him. Anointed one, you must understand that this laughter is not only about you, it is also about what God will release through you. Heaven laughs because your testimony will become a blueprint for others. Heaven laughs because your scars will heal, though still bleeding. Heaven laughs because your yes is bigger than your imagination, touching lives and generations you may never meet. God's laughter is proof that your destiny is larger than your personal story. The enemy feared this truth. That is why he tried to silence you. He knew that once you overcame, your story would set others free. He worked hard to bury you under shame and convince you that your voice had no value. He tried to make you believe that your prayers were too weak to matter. Yet heaven laughed because God already saw the ripple of influence that would come from your persistence. Every prayer carried thunder in eternity. Every act of endurance shook foundations of darkness. I know this deeply. There was a season when I thought endurance was the only thing I had left. I told myself, if I can just survive, maybe that will be enough. But later, I discovered people had been watching silently. They saw me continue when quitting would have been easier. They drew strength from my yes. They found courage in my scars. And in that moment, I realized that my survival was not just mine. It was their breakthrough too. Heaven laughed because one person's obedience became a river flowing into many lives. Chosen one, your life is a living sermon. Your scars preach louder than polished speeches. Your endurance is a testimony written into eternity. Your breakthrough is a manual for others. This is why heaven laughs. What once looked like defeat has been rewritten as wisdom. What once felt like failure has become a weapon. The valley you endured is now a map that guides others into freedom. Every step you took is evidence that God is faithful, and heaven delights in that truth. Anointed one. Heaven's laughter also announces divine transfer. What was stolen will be returned with increase. What was withheld will be released in fullness. Heaven laughs because provision is shifting. Opportunities are aligning. Influence is being redirected into the hands of those who stayed faithful when no one applauded. This is not coincidence, it is covenant. Heaven's laughter is the sound of supernatural redistribution. Chosen one, when doors swing open, walk through boldly. These are not accidents, they are assignments. Heaven laughs because the path was prepared before you even knew it existed. No barrier can keep you out, no wall can remain standing. His laughter means the way has already been cleared. His laughter means keys are already in your hands. I know the doubts that rise in such seasons. I have asked them myself, why me? Am I really chosen? Do I deserve this? But God reminded me, it was never about deserving. It has always been about surrender. Heaven does not laugh because you earned it. Heaven laughs because you agreed to carry it. Your obedience carries eternal weight. Your yes has already broken generational chains and released freedom that will echo long after you. Anointed one, remember this as well. God's laughter is warfare. It destabilizes strategies of darkness. It ridicules the futility of hell's attempts. It is the sound that proclaims, this battle is already won. Heaven laughs because the enemy overplayed his hand. What was meant to bury you has become the soil of your blessing. What was designed to silence you has amplified your voice. What was crafted to break you has made you unshakable, chosen one. Let this truth anchor you. If God is laughing, you can rest. If God is laughing, you can trust. His laughter is not careless. His laughter is covenantal. It is the eternal decree that he has already seen the ending, and that ending is victory. His laughter is louder than fear, greater than doubt, stronger than every whisper of insecurity. So rise, anointed one. This season is not about surviving, it is about overflowing. It is not about hiding, it is about unveiling. It is not about delay, it is about manifestation. Heaven laughs because your mantle is too weighty to remain unseen. Your authority is too sharp to remain unheard. Your influence is too vast to remain confined. Chosen one, carry heaven's laughter as your anthem. Let it silence fear. Let it crush comparison. Let it steady your soul when doubt tries to whisper again. Step forward in confidence, knowing that heaven has already celebrated you. The decree is spoken. The outcome is settled. The laughter of the King is your covering, your confidence, and your eternal crown. Chosen one, hear me clearly. The laughter of heaven is not a faint echo drifting into silence. It is the living roar of eternity, the sound of God's triumph reverberating through creation. When the Father laughs, it is not amusement, it is not entertainment, it is decree, it is power. His laughter announces the certainty of victory before your natural eyes can see it. His laughter shakes the unseen realms and proclaims that every scheme of darkness has already collapsed. His joy is the assurance that your destiny is sealed in triumph, anointed one. His laughter is alive this very moment. It is not confined to yesterday's victories or tomorrow's promises. It is covering you right now, surrounding you like a shield. When God laughs, angels are set into motion. When he laughs, locked doors swing open. When he laughs, chains you thought permanent break in pieces. His laughter shifts atmospheres and commands alignment. It is the sound of acceleration. It is heaven's announcement that the blessing has already left his throne and is rushing into your life. I know the ache of silence. I know the weight of waiting. I have sat in long nights where prayer felt unanswered and hope felt fragile. I questioned whether heaven had turned away. Yet, when breakthrough arrived suddenly, I understood. Heaven had never been silent. God had been laughing all along. His laughter was not mocking me. It was shielding me. His joy was proof that the delay was designed, that the waiting was preparation, that what felt wasted was actually working for my good. His laughter meant I was never abandoned, only hidden until the appointed time. Chosen one, your very survival is not small. It is prophecy in motion. Every breath is testimony. Every step you take declares to hell itself. The plan has failed. The enemy designed your collapse with precision, but here you are. You prayed when you felt empty. You forgave when bitterness seemed safer. You hoped when despair pressed hard. Each act shook the unseen. Each choice provoked heaven's joy. Heaven laughs because the one they thought would fall is still standing in victory. Anointed. 1. His laughter does not only celebrate survival, it points to multiplication. You are not just recovering fragments, you are stepping into overflow. What was barren will bloom again. What was broken will be rebuilt stronger. What was delayed will come suddenly. Heaven laughs because your portion is not emptiness, but abundance. Your inheritance is not scarcity, but overflow, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. His laughter is proof that you will not finish in lack, but in plenty. Chosen one, release yesterday's shame. Stop rehearsing failures. Stop replaying mistakes. Heaven's laughter is louder than regret. It silences guilt. It erases condemnation. You are not chained to the past. You are not defined by wounds. You are not limited by weakness. You are chosen, anointed, redeemed, and appointed. Heaven laughs because your name is written in the eternal book of destiny, and no hand can erase it. I too have battled unworthiness. I have whispered in secret, "Why me? Am I enough?" But the Lord answered, "It is not about perfection. It is about surrender." Heaven does not laugh because you achieved flawlessly. Heaven laughs because you yielded. That yes carried eternal weight. That obedience shifted timelines. That faith planted seeds that will grow long after you are gone. Your surrender has altered storylines you cannot yet see. This is why his laughter is unending, because it is rooted in covenant, not performance. Anointed One, never forget that his laughter is also warfare. It dismantles strongholds. It ridicules the futility of the enemy's strategies. It declares to every demonic power, this battle is already finished. Heaven laughs because the weapons aimed at you failed. Heaven laughs because curses turned into blessings. Heaven laughs because pits dug for you became wells of provision. Heaven laughs because what was meant to destroy you has only revealed your resilience. Chosen One, let that sound saturate your spirit. Let it become your anthem. Carry it into the night when fear rises. Carry it into the morning when doubt whispers. If God is laughing, you can trust. If God is laughing, you can rest. If God is laughing, you can walk boldly knowing the end is already secure. His joy is your shield. His laughter is your confidence. His delight is your crown. So rise now, Anointed One. Pray as though the answer is already in your hands. Speak as though the door is already open. Move as though the crown already rests on your head. You are not chasing victory. You are advancing from it. You are not begging for approval. You are living from approval already given. The King's laughter surrounds you. It carries you. It covers you. It confirms you. Chosen One, lift your head high. The delays are broken. The testimony is alive. The story is unfolding. Heaven laughs because your ending is already triumph. You are chosen. You are anointed. You are destined to win. Chosen One. As this word comes to a close, I want you to feel the weight of heaven's laughter still resting over you. The King has smiled, the throne has shaken, and your name has been spoken in joy. That laughter was not empty. It was the signal that your Kairos moment has begun. What you prayed in silence has already stirred the heavens. What you whispered in weakness has already been written as victory. Anointed One, this is not the end of your story. It is the turning of the page. The supernatural transfer is already in motion. Doors are aligning, blessings are converging, and breakthroughs are accelerating toward you. The soil that once felt like burial ground is now the place of your blooming. The tears you sowed in secret are rising as harvest in abundance. So walk forward with holy confidence. Stand tall in gratitude, knowing the author of your destiny is laughing over you with joy. His delight is your strength. His laughter your shield. His promise your inheritance. Stay faithful. Stay aligned. Keep saying yes even when the step feels small. Every act of obedience is echoing in eternity. Chosen One, I bless you with courage for the road ahead. Peace for every battle and vision to see beyond what your eyes can hold. Share this word with those who need it, and let your heart remain open for more. Subscribe if your spirit feels led, and declare in the comments, I received this victory. Go now in confidence. The King has laughed, and your victory is already secure.